the tournament. Seed number 7 in the Joseon Dynasty versus seed number 20 in Grease Monkey EU2. It's gonna be a very interesting match. Not everybody was ready for the match, at least on the side of the Joseon Dynasty, according to Rectagon. However, I mean, match is happening, right? Okay, sorry. All right. My bad. It has been a second. Things are not set up properly on my side. Now, Joseon Dynasty is going to pick the second pick. It's up to Grease Monkey EU2 to decide on the ban order for this match here. Very crucial. Of course, second pick for the Joseon Dynasty ensures that as long as they can keep the score somewhat even, it's very likely that they'll have the last laugh, right? In the situation that the match goes to tiebreaker, they will have the last pick before tiebreaker, which is a very important kind of swing in momentum. Grease Monkey EU2 is going to pick second ban, essentially saying to the Joseon Dynasty, hey, you have to ban first. And we're going to look at your bans, we're going to study them a little bit, and counterpick it. Of course, this is a 2-ban stage tournament, so both teams will make their first bans, they will play, and then they will ban again later on. No Mod 2, the first ban for the Joseon Dynasty, getting rid of the extremely stream-heavy map of the pool in Cyber Inductance. 223 BPM, stamina streams, right? It's a very, very difficult map, and if you're not comfortable on it, your team can absolutely get rolled over on it. Hard Rock 3 will be the ban from Grease Monkey EU2 rebuild. Very interesting custom map from Nozuchi. Rhythmically incredibly difficult. It absolutely makes sense. When you look at the roster of players on Joseon Dynasty, there is just a lot of players that can really catch on that really difficult rhythm to that Hard Rock 3, as well as just being good Hard Rock players generally. You don't want to give them that in. Absolutely makes sense to get rid of the Hard Rock 3 from Grease Monkey EU2. Of course, Grease Monkey EU2 is also going to be the first pick of the match, as Joseon Dynasty chose to pick second in the picking phase. So see what they go for here. Of course, with a No Mod 2 ban, you know, maybe looking something more on the mechanic side, right? You see the mechanics ban, you can say, okay, you know, let's try it out. Of course, you can't underestimate the team you're staring down, right? You're looking at, yes, No Mod 2 is fast and it was banned, but picking speed can be a little bit risky into a player such as Jackson, right? Regardless, though, it is going to be the pick. It is DP3 here, Verflucht. Perhaps one of the most iconic picks in Resurrection Cup history. Just by song alone, this isn't even the Verflucht diff. However, of course, Verflucht, such a famous set, and this one, 270 BPM burst speed. It is only 1 minute and 13 seconds long, and for that entire drain time duration, you are playing full throttle Osu speed. It is a very, very intense map. Both teams fielding their rosters. Costco Hot Dog, maybe not the most confident. Right, looks like most of the players should be in the lobby. Both team rosters should be locked for this very first map of this Resurrection Cup quarterfinals losers side match. Notably, due to this being losers, whoever wins this match will have to play again tomorrow against the winner of Brazilian Luffy and Chop Chuds. So, I mean, you're not only playing just to survive this, but also just to make it to the next round to survive again. It is very intense. Here we go. First map, Verflucht. Once again, only 1 minute, 13 seconds. Full throttle, Osu speed all the way from the first object to the final. No breaks. There's no sort of pillows in terms of the speed stopping you. As we see, already very intense breaks from both sides of the field. 2 FCs right now. Jackson, Window Wife, and Alini Max, and Window Wife, of course, Rectagon. Jackson is going to find a break early before one of the slower sections. Rectagon as well, meaning now Alini Max and the only FCs left in the lobby, and that's very crucial as both of those FCs are on the same team here to get into the really, really first heavy section. Both players holding on so well. Torpedo 69 also with a huge recover combo, matching Rectagon, who's the best combo on the opposing side. Torpedo is going to find a break, but so is the entire team on the left side of the field. And then Alini will find a break to trade it, but Maxim still holding on to an incredibly crucial FC for Grease Monkey EU2. As we go into the final section of the map, the preview point, the Verflucht part that everybody knows. Doubles come through. finger control is at its highest right here at 270 BPM, but Maxim still holding on to that FC. It's over 1 million score difference for Grease Monkey EU2. A really, really crucial pick as Maxim closes out the FC. Now it is up to the Joseon Dynasty to respond. A first pick in kind. Of course, we saw the Hard Rock 3 ban coming from Grease Monkey EU2, which I think puts them in an interesting situation, right? Of course, Hard Rock 3 is an incredibly rhythm control heavy map, and the question comes where do you find that rhythm control in the rest of the pool, right? You've seen that this team doesn't really want to play that. It's really tricky to describe what Hard Rock 3 even is, honestly. It's, it's a bit rhythm control, it's a bit aim control. So the question becomes, where do you find that kind of skill set to abuse, right? Where do you pick in the pool to kind of punish the Hard Rock 3 ban, right? There is quite a bit of aim control in the pool if you think the aim control is what they're worried about. You have multiple different picks, right? But if you're looking at just raw rhythm control, it's a little trickier, especially after such a dominant win on that finger control heavy DT3. All right, very interesting. Hidden to the pick from the Joseon Dynasty to start us off. This is not what you usually see as a first pick. This is not the slot that you traditionally see to start off the match, but absolutely makes sense. I mean, you look at this team, you see a bunch of just hidden playing weirdos. 130 BPM. Interestingly, CS3 on this map. However, CS3 does not change how, honestly, hard the aim is on this map. It's not crazy, but there is some pretty significant aim element to this map alongside the AR8 reading. Crucially, though, this rhythm is just incredibly weird. It is, of course, you're looking at 1/3 rhythms throughout the map. It is a very, very strange kind of map to play. Traditionally, a lot of Osu is mapped in kind of this 4 per beat kind of rhythm, right? 4/4. Not 4/4, sorry, 1/4. Or 1/4 note rhythms. And so Hidden 2 being a reading focused pick with 1/3 rhythms can feel kind of weird. You need to be very locked in to get it just right. So it's going to be a very, very difficult map for these players if they're not ready for it. A lot of these 1/3 rhythms have tripped people up in many maps that aren't Hidden 2s. So let's see how it goes. And once again, we can't discount the aim element to this map. See how it goes for these teams. Going to the Hidden 2, the first pick for the Joseon Dynasty. And you see that really snap-heavy aim. Going to catch Toybot off guard in the intro alongside Maxim and NU. These intro misses don't mean too much, but, maybe they speak a little bit of confidence. Said Rectagon, the only one who's going to hold all the way through the intro here. Window Wife. These verses are, they're somewhat easy, right? They're pretty predictable rhythm-wise. Not too many jump scares until you get to these patterns, which are going to catch Defi off guard. As well as Nightbeat and Toybot. It's actually a little scary for the Joseon Dynasty. All of your combo is centralized on one player right now. It's centralized on Rectagon, fighting against both NU and Maxim, who broke early on in the map. Able to kind of build up the score so long as they can keep their accuracy in check. The Ki is the real big test here. Going to find Defi a big break. NU as well, but Rectagon's going to break as well, leaving Maxim open to kind of start taking over now. Nightbeat and Toybot have a lot of work to do just to build up the combo to stop Maxim, but Nightbeat's going to find a break. Luckily, he's going to trade with Maxim. Joseon Dynasty only 3k ahead, however, going into this next section, Toybot does have the biggest combo on their pick. It's looking a little scary for the Joseon Dynasty, but it is far from over, of course. One good player, one good combo will shift it. Toybot able to keep it under control for now, though. 20k and growing score difference. Currently, you're looking at Defi, right? With the growing combo, you know, if something happens, such as a Toybot break like that, Defi is the next in line for the throne. Nightbeat, now the only one with combo, not for long, is going to find a break. Defi was holding on. Crucially, though, Grease Monkey EU2 does have the score lead, and it is growing due to NU's combo. Everyone else in the lobby is consistently breaking. These 200 plus combos are such a rarity on this map for these teams, it seems. And NU able to carry it on. 300 combos. Everybody breaks on the linears of the final Ki. Except for one, except for NU is going to break at the end, but they have done their job mostly. That said, it's not over. It's not a done deal. That score lead decreasing, but not enough for the Joseon Dynasty to take it back. It's a counter... Sorry, not a counter pick. What am I talking about? It is a break point for Grease Monkey EU2 on the Joseon Dynasty's first pick, the Hidden Sioux. Such a close map. But it is going to go the way of Grease Monkey EU2. And now Grease Monkey's in an interesting spot, right? They have gained themselves a really, really nice lead here. 2 points to 0 onto the Joseon Dynasty. And you've got a lot to pick from, right? You've proven your proficiency on speed through the DT3. You know, you could look at the rest of the DT pool. You've got a pretty burst-heavy DT1 in Sweet Little Bumblebee. You've got a very stamina-heavy DT2 in the 243 BPM Touch Tap Baby. Or you could just choose to ignore speed, right? You have the lead. You can come back to speed later when it feels... when you're, you know, a little more down and you need a comfort pick. But it is just got to be the DT2. You know, let's get it out of the way. Let's build that lead even higher, says Grease Monkey EU2. Play what we're confident on. It's Touch Tap Baby, Eurobeat mix, mapped by very own Garden. All right, this is a very interesting spot. We saw the DT3 was so dominant for Grease Monkey EU2, over 1 million score lead by the end. We'll have to see, you know, can Joseon Dynasty really catch up on this DT2? We saw the team-wide just inability to perform on the DT3. It felt Recticon was the only one who got a competitive score on the map, and competitive still wasn't enough, not even close. We'll see what they can do. Rectagon, Jackson, Nightbeat was the lineup on the DT3. I imagine it might stay the same for this DT2. You know, just calling this team of 3 the speed roster for this team. It looks like the team rosters are locked in. We're going into the DT2. Once again, super stamina heavy, 243 BPM. We are talking long streams. You need to be incredibly comfortable on this. You know, this is a map where AC is really going to come into play here, right? It is so easy to start just chain dropping your accuracy on these streams, which can be very critical. So long as everybody keeps combo, of course. The aim element of this map is not very high, right? It's easy to keep combo so long as you can tap it. Tapping it is the real problem. You see, just this verse section is still really dense. Jackson going to be caught off guard. Missing right before a slow little reprise to the sliders. Giving a little bit of combo advantage to Grease Monkey EU2 going into the first Ki here. It's not a huge advantage yet. Not only Lee and Jackson going to trade breaks, but that's about the best trade you can get for the Joseon Dynasty. Jackson was a player who already didn't have an FC. You'd love to trade that combo with any FCing player, but you do lose Nightbeat near the end of the Ki. Rectagon, once again, the last hope of this team as far as combo goes against both Maxim and Trumpetino 69. We are going to go into a slower section. I hope, you know, maybe for the Joseon Dynasty to start building a backup combo, but you know who else has built backup combo? It's Nanolini, looking at that nice near 400 combo to support the 2 FCs on their team. They are going to find a break, somewhat crucial, but you know, Jackson and Nightbeat have a lot of work to put in, and it doesn't help if Jackson does find a break again. Nightbeat, Rectagon, the only players holding combo really for this team. Nightbeat's going to go down once again. It's only Rectagon against 2 FCs on the side of Grease Monkey EU2. It feels like everybody in the lobby is breaking except for these 3 players on the bottom. Rectagon's going to find a break finally. With Maxim and Trumpetino now able to fully take it away. Maxim's going to find a break, but at this point, it really doesn't matter. It's a 650k score difference. Trumpetino 69 still holding the FC going into the final section of this map. Patting Maxim on the back. Hey, UFC DT3, I'll carry on the legacy here in this DT2. 1300 combo and climbing, going through the biggest, hardest ace spikes. Trumpetino 69 going to overtap. A 1/2 double. Find a break right at the end of the map, but the job is done. 830k for this team. It's a score difference. Grease Monkey EU2 taking a 3rd point on the Joseon Dynasty. Joseon Dynasty's picked next, but they have a lot of ground to cover. At some point, they're going to have to take a break point off of Grease Monkey EU2. It is a really hard position to be in. Of course, we are looking at a best of 11 match, so 6 points to win. There's still a lot of match left to play, but this is a very nice start for Grease Monkey EU2. It's going to be a quick Hard Rock 1 pick for the Joseon Dynasty. Blackout. This one, a Resurrection Cup original song by Log. Log, of course, the mapper of their own right, known as Ohm002 on Osu. Ohm, however, did not map this. In fact, it was mapped by Type 4. Big Thailand collab. This one, looking at 200 BPM. Very incredible map, honestly. And this one going to be Joseon Dynasty kind of betting it all on mechanics, right? It's a really awkward position because you lost Hidden 2 so incredibly closely. However, you know, there's not many picks like it left in the pool, and you also don't want to take the chance of losing something like it again. So completely shifting in this more mechanical direction with this Hard Rock 1. It's a hard decision to make, right? This doesn't seem, and especially when you look at something like the Nomad 2 ban, this was necessarily the team strategy to go mech tech. However, it's kind of the way they had to go. Now here we go. Once again, Resurrection Cup original song log featuring Distili Dough. Starts off more mechanical, heads in the direction of more technical. Your aim and your slider aim both have to be incredibly on point. It is going to catch Nightbeat off guard at the start of the map here. Here comes the Ki, a lot more techie, Defi, NU, Toybot, all going to find breaks. Maxim as well. Every player at this point now has found a break. The score difference is basically dead even, switching between both teams incredibly rapidly as players trade breaks upon breaks. One player looking somewhat consistent, though, is Rectagon. Of course, Hard Rock legend of his own right. 200 combo and climbing. Some of the biggest combo we've seen so far, but the lack of supporting combos really hurting Rectagon here. As Nightbeat and Toybot continue to break, Rectagon needs just a little bit more support. There's that chance that Defi, NU, Maxim, any of them could build themselves up to start challenging Rectagon's combo. Rectagon, really the sole hope right now, something you never want to be, especially on a map as crazy as this one, right? There's so many skill sets being tested here. This is practically a tiebreaker in its own right. The fabled 2 minutes, 18 seconds tiebreaker. You're looking at a 5,000 score difference. It's not comfortable, but you are going to find Defi getting a break going into the big aim section here. Toybot and Nightbeat, though, going to trade it. NU and Maxim looking like they could have something here, but Maxim is going to find a break. NU, now the last bastion of combo, but Rectagon's going to find a break, and that's incredibly crucial, as that was where all the combo was located on the Joseon Dynasty. You can see how fast that score difference is shooting up. Yes, NU's going to find a break. Yes, Defi's going to find a break. But as long as one of these players can hold for just a little longer as the other players break, it'll stay in place. Rectagon looking in this final section to get the combo that matters, but being fought off by NU, being fought off by Maxim, being fought off by Defi, and it's just not enough. Grease Monkey EU2, another really, really close break point. Now, Grease Monkey EU2, you're looking at being 2 points away from winning the match, from eliminating Joseon Dynasty from the tournament. This could potentially be your last pick. If you pick right, if you can get another breakpoint on the Joseon Dynasty's next pick, you are looking good. You are looking comfortable here as Grease Monkey EU2. So the question is, where do you go? You've got the DT3 and DT2 locked down. You have shown your mechanical proficiency on the speed. You could look at a DT1. You did just win on aim after all, and clearly you're a big speed fan. However, there is still a ton of pool left to play, right? And if you want fast, there's still fast. There's still FM3 as far as speed goes. Sorry, not FM3. FM3 is an alt map. I lied. But there's speed to be played, right? You can even look at something like the Hidden One, which is a somewhat fast aim map. Of course, do have a secondary ban phase, so the Joseon Dynasty can go for, a way to strike down the team strategy a little bit. But it is looking really, really scary here as we go into the second ban phase for the Joseon Dynasty. Question is, can they find the right ban? Going to be the DT1. Not even going to let it happen. There will be no more fast. Of course, please make EU2 able to respond with a ban of their own in kind. Maybe able to get rid of a map that Joseon Dynasty could be thinking about, right? You could be looking at maybe a Fremont 3 ban, of course, just given that they picked the Hidden 2. Given that it could mean Rectagon Precision Aim. There's quite a few bans. I feel like Grease Monkey EU2 has the comfort of choices, right? You're up 4-0. You are sitting so comfortable right now. You can really ban anything you want and be fine. Meanwhile, Joseon Dynasty, it feels like the onus is on them to find the perfect ban. The one ban that will shift the momentum of the entire match. They really have to hope that DT1 is the right ban, that Grease Monkey EU2 doesn't have another pick waiting in the back pocket that Joseon Dynasty just can't get over. Hard Rock 2 going to be the ban from Grease Monkey EU2, getting rid of Igaku, the precision aim pick. Don't want to deal with it. Igaku is an incredibly tough precision aim pick. Absolutely makes sense. If you're not 100% comfortable with that precision, you are not making it through. Now it's up to Grease Monkey EU2 to find their map pick. Potentially their final of this match. Depending how it goes, they've shown such proficiency in this match. They've shown such ability to play on it. It seems like everything. Now, free mod to the pick, Pioneer. Incredibly interesting pick, especially given the Hard Rock 3 ban. Of course, the Hard Rock 3 somewhat rhythm control-y, and this free mod 2 absolutely rhythm control-y. Of course, a lot less aim control centric than the Hard Rock 3, which I suspect is the real reason that Hard Rock 3 was banned in the first place. However, this is, a bit of interesting skill set overlap between what you ban and what you pick. It's Fremont 2. It's incredibly, it's a 2L song, frankly, mapped by Bob. Big rhythm control fan is Bob. 180 BPM is kind of the saving grace of this map, right? At least you have a somewhat slow BPM to play this rhythm control at least compared to other higher level tournaments. It means that you won't be seeing too much 1/8 at the very least. This is a very, very terrifying map to try and play for both teams. We'll see how it looks. Every single player in this lobby needs a mod hidden with Hard Rock. There is at least one required hidden, one required Hard Rock, and then a player who can pick either. Right, here we go. Once again, cannot overstate just how tough this map is, just how tough this skill set is. Now, this Fremont 2 is going to be incredibly interesting. Of course, a reading challenge for the hidden players. as far as the rhythm goes, and an act challenge for the Hard Rock players. As far as the rhythm goes as well, would you look at that? It's a rhythm control map. Who would have guessed the rhythm is the hard part of the map? No matter what mod you play, no matter how you play it, it comes down to the same thing. This is Pioneer 1. It is still incredibly hard. Here we go. Every player so far making it through the intro. Catching up a little bit. It does look like Defi did find a miss earlier on. Jackson is going to trade it. However, accuracy is looking good on every player across the board. The lowest accuracy being Defi's 97% accuracy, likely spurred by the miss from earlier. And here we go. The real rhythm control test right here. This is what Bob does to you as a player. Just massacres you with really, really tough rhythm. Toybot going to go down on the hidden. Still 2 FCs on the side of Grease Monkey EU2 against just 1 on the side of Joseon Dynasty. Jackson breaking the supporting combo. Toybot not too far behind. Not only not too far behind. Maxim not too far behind. There's no full combos left on the side of Grease Monkey EU2. Rectagon alone to take back the score, but taking it back against Defi, who has built up quite significantly back and able to kind of slow the crawl of the score from Rectagon on the Hard Rock. Rectagon also dropping a lot of act down to the 96%. Not looking at that 98 that we saw earlier before the start of that Ki. And of course, just not looking at super, super good supporting combos from Jackson and Toybot. Rectagon would really, really like at least one player to support the combo a little bit, because Grease Monkey EU2 still pulling onto that lead. In fact, it's growing a little bit, at least for now. Nanolini, Maxim are going to find breaks. It's Defi alone against Rectagon once again, and Rectagon able to slowly start taking that score back, but it's looking really close. We are near the end of the map. Defi's going to find a break. As long as Rectagon can hold on, he goes across 1,000 combos, takes the score across the board, and it looks like this very well could be it. He does find a break at the end, but he should have been able to buy enough time. 50k is not enough to make up in this short of a time span for Grease Monkey EU2. And finally, Joseon Dynasty on the board with a huge break point against Grease Monkey EU2. Right, Joseon Dynasty, now the pick is on them. We are at least playing one more Grease Monkey EU2 pick today. Hidden one going to be the pick coming from Rectagon. Erratic God, another Res Cup original song. This one by Blobdash. 210 BPM. Really tough kind of, once again, you're looking a little bit more in that MechTech angle. A lot of kick sliders to this map, right? There is a pretty significant aim element, but also just like half of that is just making sure you get from the kick slider to the next object. It's also very tapping heavy, very, very dense map at 210 BPM. You're looking at AR 9.9 is kind of your saving grace as far as the density goes in this map, as far as hidden reading goes. But that doesn't change just how hard Dasso went on this. There is really never a break from the rhythm in this map. Just a constant barrage of objects coming your way. Very, very tough objects to hit as well. See, team fielding their rosters for this. Really unlike anything we've played so far. I'd say the closest comparison is Hard Rock 1, but the comparison isn't close, frankly. Good luck, have funds in chat. We are beginning with, once again, a Res Cup original Erratic God. From Joseon Dynasty, leaning more that tech angle we saw with the Hard Rock one. Going to continue doing it with the Hidden one. Kind of a mix of everything we've played so far, but not really close to any one pick. Soft intro to start us off. The song does not stay soft for long. Now here comes the Osu combo challenge. 2 minutes 44 of this. So dense. Going to catch Nightbeat with an early break alongside NU Toybot as well. Through the intro, yeah, Defi, Maxim, and Rectagon FCing. It feels like this is a statement of match cost right here, right? Defi and Maxim have been doing so good. Defi is going to find a break, however. Now Rectagon versus Maxim on the FCs. Really nice supporting combos from their teams, but Rectagon is going to find a pretty crucial break. We're a quarter through the map now. This is one of the slower sections, but I mean, it gets pretty intense pretty soon. Going to see huge breaks from Nightbeat and Toybot. Those were big supporting combos for Rectagon. Now gone. Rectagon gone as well. It's a full team up with Joseon Dynasty as we go into a really tough flow section. Maxim is going to find a break, but Defi and NU were still holding on. Able to get it up to 220k before basically every player in the lobby dropped on this section. It is so tough and a really big advantage for Grease Monkey EU2 going into the second half of this map now. You're looking at combo advantage still for them as well. You're looking at NU with near 200 combo. Defi looking really good as well. No players really struggling with the cross-screen sliders until NU finally finds a break right at the end. It's Defi alone now with the big combo for Grease Monkey EU2. Crucially though, no one player on the Joseon Dynasty is able to match it necessarily. And with a near 300k score lead, they need a miracle. They need Grease Monkey to find a really big set of drops. Instead, the drops are going to come from Toybot, from Nightbeat. Only Rectagon holding any combo for this team right now. And the combo that Rectagon has isn't enough to compete right now. The score difference is still climbing for Grease Monkey EU2. Defi is able to hold Rectagon off and gain a little bit more score on top of that. As we go into the final section of the map, Grease Monkey EU2, it looked, maybe a little shaky on the last pick, right? They got kind of a surprise Rectagon jump scare on the free mod 2, but on the hidden one, it looks like they have it under control once again. 330k, the score difference for Grease Monkey EU2. Another breakpoint heading into their pick at match point. Right, an incredibly quick DT4 pick. We're looking at closing out the DT pool here for Grease Monkey EU2. DT1 has been banned, but they have played DT2, DT3, and now DT4. Custom map by Rosemine. I believe is the... I think? I'm really not sure how to pronounce the title of the song. Frankly, I thought it was The Night's Just Begun until I just looked at it just now. This one, without DT, it's still a pretty fun alt map, but with DT, you're looking at 200 BPM aim control. We really haven't seen any level of aim control throughout the pool outside of a little bit on Free Mod 2. Of course, that was a Joseon Dynasty win. However, Free Mod 2 was also incredibly rhythmically difficult. But this is a lot more straightforward as far as the rhythm goes. However, you are looking at extremely tough aim control compared to anything we've seen so far in the match, especially at 200 BPM. If you are not comfortable with aim control skill sets, you are going to get run over on this map. It is a very, very tough map to get through. It is one of the hardest in the pool, I would say. Rosemine did not hold back, making this incredible custom map. MP start 5 through. We've got our rosters locked in for potentially, once again, the final map of the match, the final pick of Grease Monkey EU2. Once again, potentially. Can never excuse a miracle, but 5-1 speaks to a comfort that Grease Monkey EU2 has. It's just unmatched by the Joseon Dynasty. Here we go. You can see the real difficulty of this aim control, catching multiple players off guard in the intro. Frankly, those breaks don't matter at all, right? It's so early on. Rectagon, the only FC left, and now we're getting to the point where the breaks start to matter, right? Rectagon able to start building up a bit of a big score lead for the Joseon Dynasty. Looking really, really comfortable on this aim control, honestly. As we go into the first KI, every other player in the lobby is breaking non-stop. We were seeing not only start to hold the combo a little bit, seeing Maxim hold them now, but it is looking a little less comfortable for everybody except for Rectagon here. Is going to find a break, however, and that score difference is going to start to go down rapidly. Once again, we're seeing this problem where Rectagon is the only player on the side of the Joseon Dynasty who's able to hold a significant enough combo to start building score with. Not only is going to break, but, you know, they were supporting Maxim for so long, and now Maxim can start building up combo. There's no player on the Joseon Dynasty, as you know, as Maxim breaks, that can start to build the combo back up. The score lead's still building up for Grease Monkey EU2, even though their big combo has broken, right? Because they have more consistent accuracy, they have more consistent combo across the board. And I suspect that's why they picked this DP4, you know, essentially calling Rectagon's bluff, saying, you can't hold that long. Maybe we're not the most comfortable, you know, maybe we're not expecting an FC on this, but you alone, Rectagon, cannot hold that long. And if you don't have your team behind you, you can't build up the score that you need. Going into the second KI, yes, Rectagon does have the highest combo, but he's fighting against Nanolini, just 100 combo behind, not able to build up a super big score lead. Nanolini is going to find a break, but once again, it's all on Rectagon. Rectagon needs to hold all the way, and even then, it might not be enough, because look at the accuracies on his team. Those aren't good enough supporting scores to really build the lead back. 100k the difference, and it's frankly not moving. Rectagon finds a break at the end, and that is it. Joseon Dynasty unable to close up the miracle, and Grease Monkey EU2 able to close up the 6-1 win. It looked doubtful for just a moment on that Fremont too. It looked like Rectagon had finally activated, but it doesn't seem the case. The Joseon Dynasty has been eliminated from Resurrection Cup 2025. Grease Monkey EU2 will be moving on through the loser side quarterfinals to face the winner of Brazilian Luffy and Chopped Chuds. The Loyalist team has found themselves the victors of this quarterfinals match. Incredible stuff from this team. They have shown incredible scores, you know, multiple FCs on the speed map, as well as just really, really good scores across the board, right? And able to challenge, I mean, one of the game's best players in Rectagon. Titans of Osu right here in Resurrection Cup. We'll see what they can do tomorrow as they move on through the losers bracket, but that is it for this match. Thank you all for watching, and make sure to keep up with Resurrection Cup throughout the rest of the day. We have so many more quarterfinals matches to stream. Of course, we've got our matches on the main stream still. I believe we're streaming Unks and Net versus Grease Monkey EU1 right now. We will also be streaming a Snoopy Corpus Chicken Big in just 10 minutes on, should be the mainstream as well. I guess depending on the outcome of the current match on stream. Sunday, of course, we've got matches at 2:45, 13, and 2 at 19. So there's a lot of Resurrection Cup still left to watch this weekend. Make sure to stay tuned. Thank you for watching.